Well, hello guys, Attorney Elizabeth Wafula here. Have you ever found out something and thought to yourself, man, I wish I would have known that just a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, maybe a few months ago. Dang, my decision making would have been completely different. But I got you. Here are three things you wish you knew. 3 things you wish you would know about Vawa. Guess who's back again. Hey, guess who's back? Guys, Attorney Elizabeth Wafula here, back to you live once again. It's been a while, I know, but I'm back, okay? This week we are discussing three things you would have wished you knew about Vawa. 3 things you'd have wished you knew about Vawa. So guys, what inspired this topic is really, I was sitting here thinking like the number of times I've heard clients tell me, man, I wish I would have known this sooner. Like, had I known this sooner, I would have done this differently. I would have done this differently. I would have decided to do this differently. I would have left her sooner, left him sooner, or I wouldn't have panicked. I wouldn't have been living in such fear. You know, so I sat down and I realized that the average Vawa client or person that I speak with over the phone or in person, when I'm having a consultation, usually tells me like, wow, I wish I would have known this much sooner. So guys, without further ado, let's jump into the 3 things you probably wish you would have known about Vawa a year ago, 2 years ago, even a couple of months ago. Number 1, Vawa actually applies to both men and women. It applies to both men and women. If you heard this before, no sweat. A reminder is good, but there's always someone who doesn't really realize that. So in fact, my average client, okay, or the majority of my clients are actually men. I have a majority of men file Vawa applications and win Vawa applications. Again, if you don't know what Vawa is, I have a series, a number of videos on Vawa. There's a video that talks about 7 things about Vawa that really defines Vawa. I'll put a link up at the top as I speak. Then there's another video that talks about, do I qualify for Vawa? How do you know if you qualify for Vawa? I'm also putting up a link to that at the top on the right as I speak, okay? But the majority of my clients are actually men, okay? So Vawa actually stands for Violence Against Women Act. It was promulgated in the 90s to help women who were in abusive situations by their American citizen spouses or green card holder spouses. But since then, it has really extended to help many men as well in such situations, okay? Second thing to know, Vawa actually requires no physical evidence, right? So no physical evidence or no physical violence is required. So usually when people hear Vawa, they think of physical abuse. They think, oh, I have to be getting beaten up by my spouse to prevail on Vawa. Not true. Absolutely not true. I've prevailed on many applications, Vawa applications, without any physical violence. So don't let that hinder you. If you're experiencing emotional, psychological mistreatment by your spouse, please seek proper help first. Start getting some counseling. Secondly, call a lawyer immediately, an experienced immigration lawyer on Vawa, okay? Not every immigration lawyer is well versed in Vawa. Only a few immigration lawyers in the country are well versed and trained on Vawa, and I happen to be one of them. So if you really, this sounds like you, someone that you know, give me a call and definitely we can help them out. Third, the other thing that I think people wish they knew about Vawa, is that it applies to you even if you're divorced, even if you're separated. So long as it has not been longer than 2 years since your divorce, you can actually file a Vawa application and prevail on a Vawa as long as you've not been divorced longer than 2 years at the time of your application. That also applies to you if you're simply separated at the moment. So guys, the 3 things, running through them again, are first of all, Vawa applies to both men and women, and actually a majority of my clients are men. Number 2, Vawa does not require any physical mistreatment by your spouse. So the fact that your spouse doesn't beat you up does not disqualify you from applying for a Vawa application and winning on a Vawa application. And third of all, Vawa still applies to you if you are still married. It applies to you even if you are divorced, so long as you've not been divorced for longer than 3 years. So number 3 is that it applies to you even if you're separated or divorced, so long as you've not been divorced for longer than 3 years. Guys, that's it for this week. Attorney Elizabeth Wafula once again here. Remember, I represent clients in all 50 states, so if this sounds like you, I can definitely help you. Call my office. My office number is on the screen, and we can help you. Remember, there's hope for you. Even as an immigrant, there's always, always, always hope. That's it for this week, guys. Take care. Bye.